from the East Coast to the West Coast. They've been getting ready for the big show. 16 rounds of non-stop racing excitement. 16 rounds of the toughest competition you'll see this year.
David Villeman really put the heat on McGrath early last season, beating him twice in the first 4 rounds. Villeman knows better than most that Jeremy can be beat. Now he's got to keep the heat on for the entire season. Perhaps the hottest rider right now is Ricky Carmichael. He won the 250 Outdoor National Championship and the U.S. Open, taking home $100 grand. Carmichael challenged McGrath at times last year, but the conditioning wasn't there. Now Carmichael's in the best shape of his life, and Jeremy's hands will be full. Last year, much of the Challenger hype centered around Ezra Lusk. That excitement and anticipation quickly ended with a practice crash here at the opening round. After sitting out for a year, Lusk has had plenty of time to think about what it takes to win his first Supercross title. Mike LaRocco went to Europe this fall and came home with the World Supercross Championship. If he can work on the first 5 laps of the race, LaRocco will be a factor as he was last year. Kevin Windham has switched bikes, leaving Honda at the end of the year to ride for Suzuki. He looks confident on his new ride. He seems to be having a lot more fun with Travis Pastrana by his side. Despite their confidence, the most confident rider in the pits remains the hunted, Jeremy McGrath. Sharp left-hand corner into a rhythm section. It's going to go like this right here. This section right here is very tricky. Something new for the year, this double right here. That's the biggest double jump I've ever seen. As they work their way over to home plate, in between these 2 triples, your first whoop section. That's over by third base. Another long rhythm section into the final whoop section, across the starting line, and over to the finish line jump.
The 2001 Supercross season is underway. David Villeman gets the SFX whole shot money, $1,000. McGrath, Roncada, great starts. Lusk is in 4th. Roncada and Jeremy battling for 2nd. Number 934, David Villeman is our leader. He's under siege from McGrath. Jeremy with a good block pass. McGrath now has the lead.
This is Jeremy's house. He is not fooling around out there. Right to the lead. This guy is like a cat. He sees any opening, he's in there.
McGrath incredibly came through 4 riders to take the lead here in the opening laps. But here comes Stefan Roncada through the whoop section. Gets a little block pass, but look at how Jeremy slipped it in the underneath. Roncada, number 21, his first 250 ride on the Kawasaki for Team Kawasaki.
That surprises me. What a pace that Stefan had to run to stay with Jeremy and make that pass. He prides himself on being able to go through the whoops fast, and that's what did it for him.
And here's Ricky Carmichael, number 4, who's ahead of Villeman, right behind Ezra Lusk. We've got some heavyweights in there. And the surprise with Stefan Roncada out in front.
He is not holding things up either. You know, sometimes you get a rider that happens to get a great start. He gets out in the lead, but it's just a freight train behind him because he's not able to run the pace. So far, Roncada has held his own out there, but I just don't see him being able to stay this fast for 20 laps. Jeremy's going to apply way too much pressure.
He won the 125 East Championship in Supercross, lost the 125 National Motocross title at Pastrana in the last race. He had a tremendous year by the 125 last year. Here comes Jeremy McGrath. Great black pass. Roncada now slows down to make an effective block pass on his own as they come over the bar on the finish line jump. Jeremy McGrath powers out in front. Roncada looks behind him to see who's there, and Ezra Lusk is right there.
That's that. I'm telling you, Jeremy is not going to put up with this block passing because what happens, that allows everybody else to catch up. Jeremy does not want to have to deal with Ezra Lusk. He doesn't want to deal with Ricky Carmichael. If he keeps playing this game out front of blocking each other, it's going to slow the pace. He needs to get out of there now.
Lusk, taking advantage, is now moved into second place. Number 11 on the team Honda machine. So injured last year. And he had a great rivalry with Jeremy McGrath the 2 years prior.
And he has run Jeremy down before. Remember Phoenix back in
yes.
98, I think. He's got the ability. He's a fast closer.
And look at there, Ron Cotta's having a battle with Carmichael, and Carmichael makes his move into third. And so it's McGrath, Lusk, Carmichael, Ron Cotta, Pastrana. Look out, Ron Cotta. Your rival in the 125s is coming up.
Jeremy's pulling away tenths of a second each lap. Starting to break the spirit of Ezra. Ezra's going to be thinking about, you know, second wouldn't be bad. And that's what Jeremy does to people. He just ruins all your hopes.
Heat race winner Wyndham back in 8th, but he's closing on Sullivan right now as we take a look at the 7-time champion. Jeremy McGrath has a record. This is his record, 79 consecutive starts. We mentioned earlier he's only missed 1 round in his career in 8 years, and that was because the lights went out in Las Vegas.
The guy's amazing.
So he's able to be there every time the starting gate drops.
Yeah, this guy's like the AC Green of Supercross. He's able to make good decisions. He doesn't take big chances. He recognizes his opportunities to take a chance, and he recognizes opportunities when to back down a little bit. And that's what's kept him healthy all these years.
White flag.
What'd you expect? I saw him though working on the bike earlier today, and he wasn't totally relaxed. You know, he's a little bit nervous getting back into this, as you would expect. But Jeremy, being around him, it just calms you down because the guy's full of so much confidence. Go, hey, what's there to worry about?
But to hear Jeremy talk about the situation, he says, I am so glad I've got Skip Norfolk there. Here's a guy who really helped him through some tough emotional times as a youngster in these very first seasons in competition. The neck for the fans here at Anaheim. Skip told me in the pits earlier, he says, we know which buttons to push on each other at what time.
Yep.
You know, and that becomes out of a great friendship. The checkered flag for Jeremy McGrath wins the season opener here in Anaheim, California for the season of 2001. And Ezra Lusk comes across in second place. Ricky Carmichael holding on to third. A good opener for Ricky Carmichael in third place.
Everyone that's joined the team this year, you know, with McGrath Racing being a new team, it seems like a lot have changed from the outside, but I still got the great crew. You know, I have Big B's same driver. I got Larry, who's taking the weight off my shoulders and handling everything from the team, and then I guess Skip 1 for 1 now, huh?
Is going to be very challenging for these guys.
Well, starting off with this longest start we've seen in quite a long time into a long sweeping left-hander, that's actually pretty tricky there. It's slick. Triple at the top of the screen into a very difficult rhythm section that leads right into the whoop section, highlighted in blue there. They cross the starting line down to the bottom of the screen, another triple onto a very difficult whooped out double up to the finish line jump, which only several of the 125 guys have been able to clear.
Let's take a look at the starting lineups for tonight's main event. RC tries to improve on his third place of last week, and Jeremy McGrath is looking for his second win. Ezra Lusk continues his comeback. Kevin Wyndham on a new Suzuki. The 250 rookie for Team Kawasaki, Stefan Roncada, the veteran Michael Rocco. David Villeman tries to rebound after a disappointing opening round. Tim Ferry on the 4-stroke Yamaha. Nick Way surprising a few on the 250 as he warms up for the 125 East Series. Heath Voss, Privateer of the Year, on Pastrana and Byrne. Carmichael to the inside. And Jeremy McGrath bar to bar. Oh, right off the start. The two qualifying heat winners are battling it out. Kevin Wyndham in third. Jeremy McGrath has taken the lead. Carmichael has to keep on the pressure. Roncada went down.
Lusk is right there, right where he needs to be. Pastrana just endowed in the whoop just off our camera.
The crowd's going bananas already here in the first lap as Ricky Carmichael doesn't want to let him off the hook.
There's Pastrana. He went end over end. It doesn't look like he's going to finish this main event. Well, these guys' battle is starting to close up.
Let's go down to Davies. Ricky Carmichael takes the
Well,
lead.
amazing battle for the lead. Travis Pastrana, Team Suzuki, 17-year-old rider, has gone down hard. He's laying on the side of the track. They got a backboard out. He looks like he's up and he's moving, but he is not going to finish this race. Pastrana is out.
Ricky Carmichael has taken the lead, and Jeremy McGrath is trying to fight back. Right behind him is Kevin Windham. Oh, hold on to your hats. The top 5 are in contention.
This is the test for Carmichael. Oh, big mistake right there. You can't afford those against McGrath.
And Jeremy leaps over him. But Carmichael's not that far off. Can he do it again against the 7-time champion? Bike-to-bike action. Carmichael goes to the outside. And the crowd's on their feet. We still have 12 laps to go of this.
McGrath blocked that corner perfect. He knew what Ricky was thinking, and he covered the line.
Ricky never raced 125s here. He was an East Coast rider, and here he goes with the boat. Ricky Carmichael blitzing the works to the inside. He takes the corner, and once again, they're saying hello to each other's boots. Ricky Carmichael has regained the lead. McGrath, oh, look at that black pass.
Ricky did a good job to keep that bike on 2 wheels. His front wheel drifted all the way up over the berm. Oh, McGrath gets wide.
And Ricky Carmichael was in the good position to take advantage of it.
Jeremy is going to have to pick it up here, or it's going to be 3rd place.
LaRocco gunning for his best finish of the season and his first podium.
I don't know if LaRocco's ever passed McGrath, Art. I can't remember a time when he's done it.
It seems to me there was one time, but I can't pull it out of the file cabinet upstairs right now.
Well, it's about to happen unless Jeremy steps it up big time.
This is the kind of track LaRocco loves. And Mike LaRocco is now starting to challenge Jeremy McGrath. We've got 3 laps to go. 2 laps to go as the leader has just jumped over the finish line jump. 2 laps to go. Here's LaRocco with the back pass to the inside.
This could get Jeremy all fired up again.
Oh, my goodness. And I'll tell you, Jeremy McGrath is not out of trouble right now, because he's got Ezra Lusk behind him. And Ricky Carmichael can feel it. He can see it. He wins his 2nd Supercross of his career, winning the San Diego Supercross. Carmichael's conditioning program matching his skill to win San Diego. The victory throwing him into a first-place tie with Jeremy McGrath going into Anaheim for round number 3.
Is going to be hard and slick, and it's going to get worse throughout the night. They usually start towards the bottom of your screen and make a sharp left, head into the first sharp right. That could get interesting right there because there's a lot of block passing going on. Then they work their way back across the bottom and across the starting line. They'll jump over this jump all the way over this over-under bridge. The first time we're seeing it this year. We'll see it some more. Then they move on, a couple of right-handers into the first 2 sections of whoop-de-doos. A sharp left down the 3rd base line, over another triple into the home plate. Down the 1st place base line is another triple before they make the left go under the tunnel. And through that final whoop section you see highlighted right there. And I love the placement of this because if you can go for a last-ditch effort, whoops is the best place to do it. And it's right before the finish line.
Looking for his 8th win in 10 races here in Anaheim, Jeremy McGrath. Ricky Carmichael looking for his 2nd win in a row. Then we've got Kevin Windham and Ezra Lusk, who's the 2nd winningest active rider. Pastrana and Ferry at the gate ready to go, as Lampson and Villeman are as well. Roncada and Craig, Tortelli, LaRocco, Lewis, Byrne, Way, Ramsey, Jean-Sebastian Roy, Michael Brown, Robbie Raynard, and Isaiah Johnson. That is the entire 20-rider gate. As they rev the machines and we're underway, the main event from Anaheim, round 3. Oh my goodness, did you see that move by Ricky Carmichael? And in a fight for 2nd place, McGrath loses it. It looked like to Villeman.
Unbelievable. Looked like McGrath got the whole shot, but he couldn't get through that first jump sequence. The timing was just off. He had to slow down. He gambled. I think he'll go to the inside. It didn't work. Carmichael just shot into the lead. Now he's got a buffer back there.
Boy, will this be interesting, David Bailey, with Carmichael, Villeman, McGrath, and then Lusk behind McGrath.
Lusk is right there. Lusk is just as talented as Kevin Windham. We talk about the throttle control of those guys. Lusk will be there.
All the fans are standing here in Anaheim. McGrath starting to make his move on David Villeman in the whoops. Can't quite get him this time. Carmichael, Villeman, McGrath. Villeman looks back to see where Jeremy is.
That's over now.
Jeremy just blitzes by him going into that first turn.
Villeman's just too worried about what's going on with the other riders. He's not racing the track like he did last year.
Here we go again. Man against man. Do you think he got overly exhausted with the back-and-forth battle early?
It's hard to say exactly what happened, but I think he just got a little flustered, and a few things went wrong for him. Some bad decisions with bike setup, tires, etc. And Ricky got a little gap on him, was able to triple through a section that Jeremy actually started. And Jeremy wasn't able to do it as clean in the main event, so he never got close enough to make that battle happen.
I think if Jeremy passes Carmichael, he'll handle it differently than he has in years past, because he just wants to get out of the West in the hunt. Here comes Jeremy, but a good angle by Carmichael. Bar to bar we go over the finish line. McGrath looks at Carmichael. Carmichael does not look at Jeremy, and Jeremy makes the pass.
Could you see that? Like through the whoops, he was setting it up. He went down wide, squared him again at the finish. Ricky
Almost
comes right back.
Plastic. We could see a little more contact in this race if it stays close.
Well, I wouldn't put it past Ricky to get in there and bump a little bit. He has before, but I have a feeling that Jeremy, he doesn't like to have it done to him. I don't think he's going to dish it out unless he's really provoked. These guys have too much respect for each other. See, McGrath, though, Art, can run this pace with Ricky back there until his bike runs out of gas. Ricky's got to be closer than this to really bother Jeremy. Ricky knows he's not going to get tired either. He can ride this pace forever, but he's got to get up there a little bit closer, so it's a problem.
Look how slick it is right before that finish line jump, David.
See the way these guys handle that corner, too. Ricky getting his leg out in the air, so when he lands, it's one less thing to do. He can be that much quicker in the next corner. You see him, they're starting to really steer a little bit different and take the opposite line of what the main groove is, so they can get out there in that darker, more loamy soil and hook up.
There you have Mike LaRocco making the pass on Tim Ferry. So LaRocco comes up through the ranks. There's the lap time, the last lap. Oh, they bang! McGrath takes the lead. Almost gave it back to him.
I think he knew. I don't think he meant to run into Jeremy quite like that. He was committed. He's going, you know what? You can have it back because I don't want to pass you that way. I have a feeling that's what's going on in Ricky's head. And Jeremy probably appreciates it right now. That's the respect they talk about. Look, he's going for the inside. He can't quite get it made. He tries to turn. He knows Jeremy's mad. He knows he better get the heck out of the way in this next corner. See him look over? He just goes, go ahead. We didn't even try to turn.
Oh, Jeremy makes a little mistake. Carmichael to the inside, but Jeremy has great acceleration as he comes across the finish line jump. The white flag is waving. One more lap to go. This is an incredible race in Anaheim.
Jeremy better protect that inside this whole lap because Ricky will run it in there and make an ugly pass if he has to. He wants to win this race.
He showed him a tire there, David.
Jeremy can feel it. I don't think Jeremy's ever been this nervous ever in his career on the final lap.
Ricky Carmichael is forcing Jeremy to reach back to all of that experience, all of that knowledge that he acquired in winning 7 championships in 8 years.
Ricky's got to be close to have a chance in that whoop section, that final corner.
That's what it's going to come down to, it appears. They go on the triple. They'll go under the bridge. Into the whoops. Here comes Carmichael. The checkers for Jeremy. Incredible race here at Anaheim in round 3. He was pressured the entire way. He looks to the stars as they shake hands.
That acknowledgement right there. You see Jeremy, he's pointing to the turn. Hey, thanks. Gives him a thumbs up. He goes, hey, I know you didn't mean to hit me like that.
Carmichael with the faster speed in winning the qualifying heat. Got the first choice of gate. Jeremy McGrath the second choice as the sold-out crowd takes a look down now at the starting grid. This one's sponsored by Suzuki. Carmichael and McGrath with the first pick at the gates. Then it's Tortelli and Roncada, the two Frenchmen. Mike LaRocco's in good position at the gate, along with Kevin Windham. Nathan Ramsey and Way, both in the 125 East, doing well in the 250 qualifying. As we look at the others, Heath Voss, last year's privateer of the year. Kyle Lewis, the veteran privateer. Robbie Raynard, David Villeman making it out of the semifinal round. Jean-Sebastien Roy, and the rest of the starting lineup now as we get set, and it is getting tense. There is Jeremy McGrath right next to Windham.
Carmichael's to the inside of McGrath. It could be a major thing happen there in the first corner.
We're off and running. Main event Phoenix. Carmichael with the inside. And it's a Honda coming through. Sebastian Tortelli, it looks like, no, it's Ezra Lusk. Ezra Lusk, number 11. In first place, David Villeman is up challenging Carmichael for second. Carmichael has moved into second. Villeman looks behind him. He sees Jeremy McGrath right on his tail.
What an opportunity right here for Ezra and Carmichael. Jeremy, not a very good start. You see him back there getting showered with dirt. He's behind LaRocco.
A great advantage now for Ricky Carmichael. He's behind 3 points in the points chase to Jeremy McGrath.
Bad decision right there by Lusk. He had to go wide. Carmichael pushed him there, went to the inside, steered over the berm on purpose to cut off the opportunity of Lusk to get back in there.
Now it gives Ricky Carmichael the opportunity to really put down the throttle.
There are a lot of people watching the practice, myself included, that thought that Ricky was either going to fall tonight or win this race. Well, now he doesn't have that incredible pressure that Jeremy usually puts on him. Ezra, I think, the way his night's gone, might just be happy to be in second right here, and that's a perfect situation for Ricky Carmichael. Carmichael's got clean sailing. Look at that. He's already got a great lead.
Ricky's continued to build that rivalry with the sport's all-time winner, and he just loves the soil here. It's looser. He got his first 250 podium, as we remarked earlier, right here in Phoenix, Arizona.
I can't remember the last time McGrath was following LaRocco up through the pack, but that's what's happening here. A little mistake. The soil here is deceiving. It's always been pretty soft when you get good traction, but here it's a little bit more slippery underneath that powder that's on top. Jeremy found one of those spots.
Jeremy moving by Roncada.
Carmichael is gone.
And Ricky really has taken advantage of this opportunity right now.
His second lap was 48 seconds. That's 2 seconds faster than what they were running in the heat races, and 2 seconds faster than when Lusk just turned.
Here we go back up front. Ricky Carmichael, number 4 on the Kawasaki. He lost to Jeremy by 9/1000th of a second in the last race. And, of course, won his second Supercross in San Diego. But you got to give a lot of credit to these two guys, Ezra Lusk and David Villeman, after horrible, injury-provoking crashes.
And they're really starting to put it back together. The start makes all the difference.
Villeman riding with cracked or broken ribs. Ezra Lusk had a big fall, lost the wind as he hit the handlebars in his crash earlier. David Villeman in third, on the trail of Ezra Lusk.
How about Voss? Heath Voss running in fourth still. He's still ahead of Jeremy.
And he didn't qualify in the last round.
And that's an excellent ride for him. I'll tell you what, it's starting to show me that the track is a little bit difficult for the men. It doesn't separate the men from the boys as much as some of the other technical tracks. And all the guys are all able to go pretty much the same pace, so it should be a good run for Voss. He's smart enough to stay up in there.
Number 1. He's zipping pretty good now, too.
Voss is like, what the heck? He looks up the track and doesn't see Jeremy. He's got him on his tail now. It'll make him a little nervous, but at the same time, he's probably pretty happy. It was like practice. It's the only time Jeremy's ever been behind him.
Jeremy McGrath now looking to make a move on Heath Voss, who's currently in fourth. McGrath has done a good job of coming up through the pack. After 7 laps of our 20-lap main event, here's Jeremy now.
No
Jeremy
problem.
breezes by.
This will be fun for Voss right here. I remember as a privateer, not quite ready for the front runners, but when they come by it and you get to follow them for a lap or 2 or 3 or however long before they pull away and you can't see him anymore, you're going, wow, there he is. Oh, I like the way he does that. Oh, how does he do that? So you learn so much in those few laps. You can follow the guy in practice, but that's different. This is racing.
McGrath putting in a 49.6 lap. And look at this. Jeremy McGrath giving pressure to Villeman, number 934. McGrath to the inside. McGrath.
That's the same corner where Villeman passed him last year, going the opposite direction.
Isn't that amazing? Last year, the big surprise race where Villeman was way behind and came out of nowhere. And now McGrath does the favor the other way, going into 3rd place.
Well, Villeman just goes to the outside. I don't know why. He's been taking the inside. Looks almost like he let him by.
Well, then Jeremy McGrath got by Ezra Lusk and is now in 2nd place. While we're in that replay, what a move by Jeremy to get by Ezra. So now he's only down 3 points. Should it finish this way, and we still have a long way to go, we've got 5 more laps to go in this race, it would once again be tied for the points lead.
How about this? Carmichael has a 15-second lead on McGrath. I mean, he is gone. He's in another city. He's going still faster each lap than all these guys have gone, but what a job Jeremy has done to salvage something and only lose 3 points to Carmichael.
Carmichael, McGrath, LaRocco, Lusk.
Carmichael just threw both feet out to the side, whatever they call that one. I think it's a can-can. Flash bulbs went off everywhere. He doesn't have far to go.
This could be the first Kawasaki win here in Phoenix ever.
Be 2-2. Carmichael needed to win this race. It's a good track for him. He needed to show Jeremy he could do it when he had to.
Carmichael looking for his 3rd career victory, his 2nd of the season, and ties Jeremy McGrath in the points after a brilliant 4th round run for Ricky Carmichael. Here's Mike LaRocco. He takes the checkered flag.
Here to Anaheim, 3 completely different layouts. The start going away from home plate into a sharp left, then an option whoop section for a rhythm section, another whoop section, the triples at both ends like always, and then a new section toward the bottom there. The only place on the track we can rest, a lot of airtime, and on to the finish.
With Ricky Carmichael really sending a message in the qualifying round to Jeremy McGrath.
Absolutely, 11 seconds faster than Jeremy's. But the thing that's interesting about that, Art, is that Lusk and Wyndham were keeping pace with him. So all those guys are on the same pace with McGrath.
As we take a look at the Suzuki starting lineup, Kevin Wyndham, there's Nick Way, the 125 rider, David Villeman, who had his problems with Jeremy McGrath during the qualifying. Sebastian Tortelli getting into that starting lineup. Michael Craig looking good. Tim Ferry, Kyle Lewis, the old veteran. Pavoni, his first main event in the 250s this year for Blackfoot Honda. Nathan Ramsey and Steve Lapson getting in out of the LCQ. As the cameras zoom in on 4 and number 1, we are set for round number 5 of 250 action. Jeremy McGrath gets the lead, and Carmichael has a difficult start. Jeremy McGrath securing the lead, and right there behind him is number 23 Nick Way and Ezra Lusk. Kevin Wyndham in 4th.
This might be a little bit of a peek into the future of this series. McGrath does what he has to do when he has to do it. This is huge. Look at Carmichael buried in the pack. If he can even see McGrath pretty soon, I'll be surprised. By the time he can get into 2nd, Jeremy should be gone.
He's in 9th, similar to how Jeremy had to react last week.
Yep. Yeah, roles reversed. See how Ricky can handle this.
Jeremy McGrath holding that lead by 1.1 seconds, as you see there.
Beautiful block pass Ricky put on Villemin right there. He's getting through the pack. The next guy in his sights is Nick Way, who's not up to the challenge, I don't think, in the pace of Carmichael. He should be able to pick him off. Then his next guy would be Wyndham.
This is not like a heat race with just a very few laps. This is a long one where endurance plays a big part.
Jeremy can feel those guys back there, but he's pretty patient. He knows he doesn't need to pull away. He just needs to inch away little by little, break their spirit, make them start thinking about, well, second wouldn't be bad.
Inside, Carmichael, can he hold it on that slippery surface? Yes. He takes the same outside whip section. Look out in front. Lusk goes down. Ricky gets around him.
Unbelievable.
Lusk got another bad break.
He was trying to do a little something different around that lap rider. Look at him. He's just dazed going, come on. Can I have a little bit of luck?
They were trying to get around Sebastian Waugh.
That's the perfect endo. He landed right on that Scott Tuck block, so that was a nice kind of cushion the blow. The bike didn't help out much.
Well, he certainly has proved he's in this rivalry to stay, and he's bouncing through those whoops. Jeremy McGrath is going to have a fight on his hands with 4 laps to go.
All right, let me tell you. Oh, McGrath couldn't do the triple.
Did not do the triple. Here comes Carmichael, takes the lead. Incredible. Jean-Sebastian Waugh. It's bar to bar. McGrath takes it back again.
That was so important for McGrath to get him right back.
The crowd is going nuts. Everybody's on their feet. Bar to bar we go again. Carmichael back in front we go. Will we have another classic battle here in Anaheim? One we'll remember for years and years, as Ricky Carmichael now has a 1-count lead before McGrath comes battling by.
And look at Wyndham. He's still in there.
One of the most significant passers away from the leader so far was LaRocco passing McGrath after Ricky took the lead in one race. Could this be the first time that a Cowie rider has won back-to-back Supercross since Jeff Ward in 1987? The crowd is so respectful of both these young men. Carmichael shaking his fist in the air with a finger up there on number 1. The checkers for Ricky Carmichael. He takes the undisputed lead in points for the first time in his career. Not since the first couple of rounds in 1999 has someone other than Jeremy McGrath held the points lead. And that at the time was Ezra Lusk right here in Anaheim. As we take a look at the Honda results page, Jeremy McGrath in second, Kevin Wyndham a hard-fought third, Mike LaRocco in fourth, and Stefan Roncada with his best finish of the year so far in fifth in his rookie 250 season.
I tell you what, Davey, I got a terrible start, and I wanted to see if I could run him down. And, you know, I mean, I know I beat him heads up the last couple weekends, but I wanted to see what I could do from behind, and I totally proved myself. Feels great. I need to keep the momentum going, you know, stay injury-free and try to win this championship.
I felt like I was riding pretty good. Ricky was on the charge. He was coming up behind me, and, you know, I felt like I had enough to go to the end and made a big mistake over there and went right into the face of the triple, and might have been a little different if I hadn't done that, but hats off to Ricky. He came up a long ways and on a track that was fairly easy, and you know, I guess I should have been a little bit more cautious of some of the bumps or something up there, but my mistake.
Ricky Carmichael earns the top spot undisputed for the first time in his career. He's going to Indianapolis with a 3-point advantage. Courageously, LaRocco moves 13 points ahead of Wyndham despite 2 broken bones on the top of his shift foot. This record crowd at the RCA Dome knows that Carmichael has a 3-point lead on McGrath, but no one rider has ever beaten him 3 times in a row. David, the Speed Stick track map.
a long start here in Indianapolis into a big sweeping first corner. I predict that's going to be a safe one. The next straightaway is filled with doubles, triples, plateaus, a lot of different options through there before another sweeper that leads into the tunnel bridge. As soon as they go over that, it's right into the whoop section. A triple across the start, another triple, and on to the finish. Let's take a lap now with Mike LaRocco down the starting line into the first corner. They've got some rollers right here. Long sweeping left. You see Villeman right there. He's checking out the track over this double. Tricky rhythm section right here. You can already see ruts starting to develop. That's going to get worse as the night goes on. He triples into this corner. Another sweeper and a pop-up jump right here all the way up over the tunnel into the whoop section. You've got the hay bales there in the middle during practice, so these guys don't develop a one-line situation. Into a sharp left, the first triple. As soon as he gets this triple done, you go under the tunnel. As soon as you get out of there, you get your mechanics on the right-hand side. That's where you get your signal into that deep rut. That's going to get a lot worse as the night goes on. Sharp left and a tricky rhythm section right here. If you don't get this right, you don't have the speed to do this triple. Go sharp left. Got to protect that inside if you got somebody right on you. Over the big finish line double, same thing here. You can double into the corner on the outside if you've got some breathing room. Otherwise, you got to protect the inside.
Let's check out the Suzuki starting lineup for the 250s. As you see, Ricky Carmichael, Ezra Lusk, Kevin Windham, Jeremy McGrath. Boy, there is so much speed packed in that foursome. David Villeman, a much improved David Villeman coming into this round.
Absolutely, and I think he's starting to find his rhythm. The ribs aren't sore anymore. He had a pretty good run at a couple of the races, but now he's starting to find some confidence, and he's a little bit more desperate. He needs to get up there, Art.
As we take a look at the rest of the starting lineup in this field, don't forget McGrath and Carmichael have led all but 2 laps on the season, and that was the first 2 laps of the year when Stefan Roncada, David, took off and led 2 laps, but otherwise it's been all Carmichael and McGrath in a great rivalry, and there's Ricky right there. Ricky Carmichael gets the SFX.com whole shot at extra $1,000 in his pocket. Right there, Ferry, number 15, and McGrath.
He was a little squirrely getting into that first corner, but it paid off. Look at him. He goes right, jumps right into the whoops. He only touches once through there. Unbelievable. He's gone.
It's Tim Ferry on the Yamaha 4-stroke in second place. And Jeremy McGrath in third. Villeman has moved up to 5th behind Ezra Lusk. So all the big guns are up there. Now the question is, can Ricky take away with it?
Well, if Phoenix was any indication of what Ricky can do with the whole shot, I'd say absolutely. I don't see anybody that's got more speed than Carmichael that can reel him in. It's coming down to desire and a little bit of luck. Jeremy's in good position, though. Ezra's right behind him.
And Kevin Windham trying to move up after a so-so start. So it's Carmichael, Ferry, McGrath, Lusk, and Villeman, the top 5.
Lusk is starting to apply the pressure to Jeremy again. He made a mistake, lost some time, but he's gained that back. Jeremy can feel it. He's starting to really turn up the heat on Ferry now.
Carmichael, Ferry, McGrath, Lusk, and Windham, and then Villeman.
See how Jeremy cruised through that corner? Can't do it. You cannot afford to do that with Carmichael in the race, riding the way he is. That's time lost that he's got to go somewhere psycho pace to make back up.
Whoa. Firing through those whoops with only 1 bounce.
Unbelievable. I think there's 15 or 16 of those loops, about 3 or 4 feet apart. These guys only touched once through there.
Ferry and McGrath with Carmichael out in front. On the Honda stopwatch, you can see how Carmichael is pulling away.
McGrath, that time he cut that corner a little tight, had to dodge that tough block. But he is starting to get up there, get a little bit more impatient. He's pulled away from Ezra now. He needs to get around Ferry. He can't afford to leave here 5 points down, plus the 3 he's already down. He's got to get around Ferry. Maybe try to close on Carmichael towards the end of this race. Even if you can't beat him, close on him and let Ricky think about that for a couple weeks.
Now, this could be the best finish for a 4-stroke since Jimmy Button got on the podium. And then Doug Henry, that lone 4-stroke win was back in '97 in Las Vegas. Here comes Jeremy McGrath. For the bar. Ferry looks over to him to his right and then cuts. McGrath without a cut. Without a black pass. He didn't have to bang him. Because Ferry is going to the inside. Back and forth we go. A great battle amongst Yamaha. The crowd going nuts.
That was a block pass that slowed them both down, but Jeremy had to do it. I think Tim understands. Lusk is right there. This track is starting to develop berms and braking bumps and ruts, and it does take on a lot more of an outdoor feel right now. Tortelli just slams that landing, over jumps it. He's so strong, it doesn't matter. Larocco also strong in these kind of conditions, but of course that ailing foot is not helping any.
Tortelli, a 52.5 second lap time on the last lap. Jeremy McGrath, to compare it, is 52.1.
Michael Byrne on the sidelines. There's a tricky triple. There's 3 triples down the straightaway there with the ruts that are starting to develop. He's got cross-roaded in there probably.
Last lap for number 4.
There goes Ricky. Triples 3 times through that section, and the coast was clear. He decided to go for it. He's starting to have fun now. He can sense the win.
Jeremy McGrath has lost 3 consecutive races before, but he has never lost 3 consecutive races to one rider. Could the RCA Dome stand for Ricky Carmichael again? Oh, Ricky put on a display himself. Little knack-knack going on. The checkers for Ricky Carmichael. The battle for third is still on with Ezra Lusk and Tortelli. It's a bang-bang one. Team Honda. And barely inching out his teammate is Ezra Lusk for the final podium spot. Carmichael, McGrath, and Lusk on the podium. The 3rd straight win over Jeremy McGrath. On our Honda results page, it is Ricky Carmichael, Jeremy McGrath. He is still there. Those second places are good for points.
Yeah, I tell you, Davey, goal was to win 3, and I did it. So 3 in a row, actually. Feels good. I got an awesome start. Kawasaki was hooking up. The Bridgestone tires were awesome on the gate. And, you know, and this track was fast. You needed to get a good start.
Ricky came flying out of the gate there that time, and I got behind Red Dog and was kind of stuck behind him for a while. He was pinning it, but, you know, I just couldn't get around him. Started getting a little bit sucked into his race and instead of worrying about RC. And, you know, hats off to RC. He's been riding a great series. And, you know, I got to, you know, make a new plan, get with it here. And I know that's 6 points. There's still a lot of racing to go, but, you know, I feel good. My Mazda Yamaha is working excellent.
Jeremy has 2 weeks now to try to bring up his fitness program so that he can run with Carmichael. He's not going to be able to beat him on riding talent alone. He's got to do it with intensity.
Another sellout crowd awaits the latest showdown between Ricky Carmichael and Jeremy McGrath. Let's take a look now at the Speed Stick track map.
There you see the start running right down the middle of the racetrack. A drag race at the first corner. They're going to make a left. This is on board with Steve Lamson and his factory Husqvarna right into a whoop section right off the start. I loved it. These guys did not get to rest. Make a right down a long rhythm section. You can see some ruts already starting to develop in the bottoms. That's going to be a problem for these guys to get their timing right. Actually, Steve would like to have jumped over that one, but he couldn't because of the ruts. Another right-hand corner cross. There's a signal from the mechanics on the left. Tricky little section here. Guys really haven't figured out the best way through there yet. The first triple. All that air time. Through another whoop section. This is at the approach to the finish line jump. Up over this little double, another right. Up over the big tunnel. And then a huge double. You see the white right there. That's lime they've put down to try to dry out the soil so it doesn't rut as bad. See Steve trying to stay clear of those. Doubles his way underneath the tunnel. Now they're going to make a sweeper to the right, go backwards down the starting line into a tight left. As soon as you get out of this, look at all these ruts. Got to get on that tabletop there to have the momentum for the triple. Back around a left-hand corner and pick up where you left off at the first corner.
As we take a look at the Suzuki starting lineups, taking second in the qualifying heats, Ezra Lusk and Robbie Raynard. A great performance by Raynard. Kevin Windham, Mike Larocco, Tim Ferry, Stefan Roncada, David Villeman, Michael Byrne, and then Jeremy McGrath. He got the 11th choice of gate, David Bailey.
You know what? It can turn out to be a blessing in disguise because he's starting next to the little house that hides the lever that drops the gate. And there's Jeremy's helmet, the Intimidator.
Carmichael, he starts to rev it up as round 7 of the Sport Supercross is about to get it away. Carmichael and McGrath, great starts. They hit the line at the same time. Carmichael gets the SFX.com Whole Shot Award and comes out in the lead, and the 4-stroke of Tim Ferry, number 15, and Jeremy McGrath in 3rd. What does this look like?
Just like Indy, the exact same thing. What a recovery by McGrath. It looked like he got a bad start. He came out smelling like a rose.
Carmichael, Ferry, McGrath, Lusk, Roncada, and Heath Voss.
How about this? Ferry is all over Ricky. He's not saying, yeah, this is I'm in second, I'm ahead of Jeremy, I'm right with Ricky, this is good. He's going after him.
Here comes Ferry. 4 bike lengths in back of Carmichael. Takes the inside route. Carmichael gets a good swing off that berm.
Yeah, it was a little bit faster line, but it was smart for Ferry to protect the inside from McGrath back there and also not to follow Ricky.
Lots of good racing ahead now. Ricky going through those whoops like it was...
Oh, feet off the pegs, just on the edge.
A bar-to-bar battle now. Ferry and McGrath for second. McGrath knows he has to get in front of Ferry quicker. And Ferry, he had a foot off the peg and bounced hard as Jeremy McGrath moves into second place. Now let's see if Jeremy can pour it on, David.
This was the mistake in Indy. Jeremy could not get around Ferry quick enough. Ferry didn't hold him up. It was just somebody between himself and Carmichael. Now he's got number 4 up there. He can focus on this guy and run him down. He's got to. He can't afford to let Ricky get any more confidence than he already had.
Jeremy taking a few days off during the break to clear his head, he said. Had the feeling he was thinking a little bit too much. Wasn't letting it flow naturally. Came back with a great attitude.
Yeah, he's very relaxed, Are you're right. I think he went snowboarding a little bit. He has some time to think. He's never had a challenger like Carmichael, so it's new for him.
A 1.4-second deficit is all for McGrath.
Roncada going at it.
And LaRocco started in 12th position, is now up to 7th, looking to pass Roncada. He does. Passes him for 6th place. So once again, LaRocco on the move after a so-so or poor start. If he takes the checkered flag here tonight, he'll tie the Kawasaki record for wins in a season with Jeff Emig and Jeff Ward.
He's just got to ride smart here. I mean, his pace seems to be okay. He's holding off McGrath, but little mistakes down the stretch. You let Jeremy get any closer than this, the crowd gets into it, and it's a whole new ball game. So Ricky's got to jump all the major obstacles and make really good decisions from here on out through the lap riders.
Needs mistake-free riding because McGrath now has moved it to 4.5-second deficit, a little bit inching up. Here's number 1, the defending champion.
That double right there, Art, is killing him. It's just killing him. That's the 3rd time I've seen him come up short there. And it doesn't look that bad, but it is, because Ricky's jumping it every time, and his momentum around the corner is a little bit better.
McGrath's shirt tail flapping in the breeze. The battle really is behind him. Ezra Lusk and Mike LaRocco, and they're gunning for the top Honda spot.
Look how deep those berms are. And these whoops aren't the typical, really difficult whoops that take a lot of technique to get through. It's sort of a bonsai deal. All the ruts, the soft, sticky soil, it is in the favor of Carmichael right now, but Jeremy can't let that get to him. I mean, it's the same track for everybody. You got to go out there and race it. Not let Ricky know that every time the track has a certain kind of dirt that Jeremy's just going to throw in the towel.
Carmichael takes the white flag. Final lap for Ricky Carmichael. You know, he will have led 81 laps in, what are we at? 7 races now?
Pretty impressive. I'll tell you what, if you look just coming out of the tunnel, that's just to the left of the screen there, McGrath not that far behind. So it's, even if you lose, you still want to let the guy that wins know, hey, I'm right there. One
and it's
mistake.
Lusk and LaRocco bang bang after that. But Ricky Carmichael has turned the tables on McGrath. Last year, McGrath won his 4th straight race here in Atlanta. He led all 80 laps of those 4 races. This time around, Ricky Carmichael is looking for his 4th consecutive victory. Be smart. A 4-second lead he has on his board. If you want to get technical, it's actually a 4.444.
Look at the flashbulbs. The crowd is going nuts. They're on their feet for a lot of different reasons, but mainly Lusk is trying to hold off LaRocco in the last turn.
The checkers for number 4, Ricky Carmichael. Look at there. Number 11, Ezra Lusk in front. Barely edging out Mike LaRocco for 3rd. Jeremy McGrath, of course, sandwiched between Carmichael and Lusk, taking 2nd place once again. EA Sports Supercross scoreboard, it's Carmichael again. Again, McGrath in 2nd, and the local young man, Ezra Lusk, also on the podium.
Yeah, I'm feeling good. I tell you, Kawasaki Chevy Trucks is running awesome. Bridgestone Tires was hooking up off the gate this weekend, and it needed to be a good start. And I tell you, this track was really physically demanding.
Let's look at this track here in New Orleans tonight. We see the start line. It's a very fast start line. Kind of funnels down into a sweeping left-hander there. But you know what? It's real technical out there. It's real hard and slick. Very hard to hit your lines. And if you case a lot of these jumps, it's very hard to keep your momentum and your flow through these sections here. Don't take my word for it, though. Look at Steve Lamson here as he rounds the first turn. He's got to stick all this. This is a big timing section for him here as he cases a little bit there. Then he's got a hard right-hander. He's on the throttle. There's that first triple there. Lands, downsides it, goes through the woods. Got to keep the momentum up through here. As you see Kevin Windham go by, he keeps the rear wheel on. Makes a right-hander, another little double. This is another very technical timing section. If you case one of these jumps, you're not going to be able to keep the momentum. He rounds that corner, also another right-hander coming up to this section here. Another timing section. A lot of timing sections out here tonight in New Orleans. Here's the second triple there. Lands on the backside. This is interesting, a little stair step up. A lot of guys having a lot of problems here with this section. Nice left-hander, rut developing. Now you're on the start line straight away, going backwards into a tight right-hander there. He doubles out of the corner, singles, coming up to this finish line jump, lands and sticks it.
Looking at the Suzuki starting lineup, the rivalry resumes with Ricky Carmichael and Jeremy McGrath winning their heat races. Windham and Rincada the next to get choice of gates. And Jeff Emmig's rider, Michael Byrne and Robbie Raynard, the veteran privateer Michael Craig, and Team Yamaha's David Villeman, Tim Ferry. He's on the 4-stroke. And then Honda's of Tortelli, Lusk, and LaRocco. Lewis, Huffman, Wilson, Lamson, Clark, Thomas, Johnson, and Crine making the field as the Warriors get ready. The run from New Orleans is underway. McGrath, Carmichael, Rincada, Windham, they're all there.
Oh, we got the race art tonight.
Here comes Carmichael, fishtailing through the woods. The challenge is on, ladies and gentlemen. Jeremy McGrath. He's got a lot left in him.
Oh, yeah, you can't count out the 7-time champ now. McGrath, what he wants to do is try and pull away from Carmichael right now. That's what I want to do, try and demoralize him.
The last time that he got a great start and Carmichael got a 9th place start, he couldn't break away. And Carmichael caught him.
Well, if I was Carmichael, I think I'd just kind of hang back and watch Jeremy's lines and see what he's doing. Stay cool, stay calm. Let the race come to him.
Carmichael is confident maybe that he can out-condition McGrath at the end.
I don't think so. I mean, Jeremy, he knows he's been finishing last 4 weekends, 2nd place. Every week he's been going home. He's been training hard, and I think he's physically fit and ready for the challenge. I think these guys are just going to kind of hang here for about 15 laps, and the last 5 let it all hang out.
He's not going to get rattled. But he's going to think about it, where in years past, he might not.
Well, he knows that Ricky's back there, you know. He goes by the mechanics there.
Here comes Carmichael. He puts the challenge to him early. Inside, bar to bar we go. Ricky Carmichael with the edge, but Jeremy McGrath trying to fight back. McGrath to the inside. Great racing from New Orleans. Now we force McGrath to take the outside line, and Ricky Carmichael is our new leader. Now, can Ricky pull away?
Well, that's what he's going to try to do now. McGrath and him, they've been in this position before. We've seen it early in the season there where they went back and forth. It'll be interesting to see how McGrath's going to retaliate.
Jeremy McGrath really needs to pull it up here tonight. There's Skip Norfolk. Look at Ricky. Go, Ricky Carmichael! Look out! Hold on, baby!
I told you, Art, he is pushing that envelope tonight, and he's pushing it because McGrath is right behind him. I can't believe Ricky saved that. That's got to be conditioning. Only conditioning can save a crash like that.
In practice, he let go in the whoops and was flying like Superman, still controlling the throttle and the brakes, but not even touching the bike other than his hands, and he still held on. There's Jeremy McGrath. He's gone down, and he is right in front of LaRocco.
As LaRocco makes the pass now, he sees McGrath there and jumps right past McGrath. Something's got to be wrong with McGrath.
Jeremy went down. He slid out. Let's go down to Davey.
What happened there? Jeremy McGrath was trying to jump up one of those tricky stair-step sections that the Dirtworks guys had put on the track. He got cross-rutted and completely stepped through the handlebars. He knew he was going to do a complete endo. Jeremy stepped away from the bike to kind of prevent injury. But what happened is the bike got away from him. He is going to have a hard time catching back up to Wyndham, let alone Carmichael.
Great observation, Davey, as LaRocco now wants to get on that podium. Ricky Carmichael is in first by 9.6 seconds on Kevin Wyndham. Wyndham moving into second place. This would be his best finish of the year. This race winding down, though, with Carmichael in the lead, and he is eyeing the Kawasaki record for wins in a season. Right smart. You're up front by 12 seconds. The white flag is out. He only has one turn of the track. And he has won his 6th of the year, his 7th career Supercross victory. We're still only halfway through the season, not even that.
Well, I mean, I look at this, him winning 6 events, 5 in a row here tonight. If he can hang on there, I mean, what's to stop this kid now? I mean, this just adds. He's going to go into Daytona next weekend. He won there last year. He's trying to defend that. He's on fire.
He's looking for his 5th consecutive victory. Jeremy lost 4 in a row and won the championship in '98, but he's never lost 5 in a row and won the title. During that ill-fated '97 season, Jeremy lost the first 7. Ricky Carmichael acknowledging the fans. Dominating this race after a good bar-to-bar battle with Jeremy. He just pulled away. Good job. Comes from Chad Watts.
Well, I bet they had their doubts tonight after that practice, seeing Ricky go down on the ground a couple times.
The checkers for Carmichael. Win number 6 on the season, extending the points advantage. Here's number 14, Kevin Wyndham, his finest finish of the year. Carmichael, Wyndham in 2nd, LaRocco in 3rd, McGrath not on the podium, David Villeman rounding out the top 5.
Can't say enough for my Kawasaki Chevy trucks. Bridgestone Tires bike, I got an excellent start, and Jeremy got in front of me, and I wanted to see what I could do. You know, the last few weekends, he's been getting behind me and riding my lines, and I got behind him and felt totally comfortable and got by him, and I almost blew the race right over there with a big mistake, but thanks to my trainer, Eldon Baker, I held on to that baby and put a 5th one in the bag.
Well, after as bad as I rode last weekend, you know, I'm just glad to be up here on the podium, and you know, I said before that my first time here racing in New Orleans, I won the thing, so it's kind of hard to ever top that. But you know, I've always been on the podium here, and that's a great feeling. And the streak continues. That's a good one to hold.
16 points, the lead on the defending champion, and you'll get the biggest share of the $100,000 halfway mark. SFX.com points fund.